Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Last time we talked about the essential ingredients to cooperative extension. Today, we'll be talking about opinion leaders, their roles, and planning as an essential tool for a well-coordinated cooperative extension service. So, our expectation is that every student should be able to discuss the meaning of the word opinion leader and highlight their roles in cooperative extension. Every student should be able to describe the routes from directive to participatory extension service. Um, every student should be able to um, state the causes of opinion of attitude change. Every student should be able to define planning, discuss planning processes, state the characteristics of a good plan, and explain business forecast. So you see, we have a whole lot to talk about today. Okay, let's start by defining the concept opinion leader. Opinion leaders are individuals whose ideas and behaviors serve as a model to others. The opinion leaders live among the people. Their words, practices, and general disposition impact the people they live with. Consequently, the diffusion of new knowledge is better accomplished if opinion leaders are used as channel to communicate the new idea to their people. A wise extension worker must therefore utilize the service of opinion leaders in the dissemination of innovations to the rural dwellers and farmers. But let us say it again today. Okay, let's remind ourselves about it. What does it mean? Cooperative Extension Services is a publicly supported informal adult education and development initiative. Its overall objective is to plan, execute, and evaluate learning experience that will help people acquire the understanding and skills necessary or essential for solving cooperative, farm, home, and community problems. Note that cooperative extension services is a type of education which is functional rather than formal. All right. You should remember that cooperative activities cover almost every aspect of rural economy and not restricted to agriculture alone. Remember, we have mentioned earlier that extension goes beyond just agri. We have it in the medical field, we have it in the nutrition field, we have it in cooperative field, and so on and so forth. So in cooperative extension, organization and funding is in partnership with national, state, and local governments in programs and the managing of the activities and resources of the extension. So cooperative extension has this organization and funding that has partnership between the national, the state, and even local government programs, and they are managed those resources in the same partnership. Now, what is the role of opinion leaders in cooperative extension? The duty of an extension worker is to encourage the rural people to adopt innovations, which may be in form of new ideas, new methods, new practices or techniques, which gives the means of achieving sustained increase in rural productivity or rural product activities. The opinion leader can help in this process in an immeasurable as listed below. One, they can mobilize farmers to attend group meetings with extension agents. That way, you see that the meetings get even more functional and successful. They convince their peers to adopt new practices. Of course, opinion leaders are those whose ideas shape other people's decisions. So because they have that unique quality, they can easily convince their peers. They are often chosen as contact farmers, and their farms are used as demonstration farms by the extension agents. They make personal sacrifices and provide resources for extension services. So these are some of the roles of opinion leaders in cooperative extension. Other roles include they shape businesses and industry by their decision and by their actions. Another role is that they influence study and debate. Of course, because their opinion has a way of affecting things, they tend to shape discourse. Another is that they spread new ideas, expand conversations, and give useful advice. Another is that they gain and sustain influence through word of mouth. Remember, they are opinion leaders. Their words, their action influence others. So by the words they say, they try to sustain influence. They try to gain it and sustain it. They communicate message to the rural people. They are often considered as target group for any company that conducts studies on consumer behavior. Now let's discuss the directives. Like from directive, that is the concept of extension. Let's discuss the concept of extension from the perspective of directive to participatory extension. Now, note that extension has long been grounded in the diffusion model of agricultural development, in which technologies are passed from research scientists via extensions to farmers through the train and visit system. However, it has been much less successful than predicted, and adaptation rates are commonly very low among non-contact farmers. Therefore, the need to adopt the participatory system. Participation, if it is to become part of extension, must clearly be interactive and empowering. Any pretense of participation will result in little change. In some cases, will result in no change at all. Okay, so let us now discuss the concept of causes of attitude change. Something must cause people to change their attitude. What makes the rural people accept new ideas? What factors account for the acceptance of a new practice? That's what we want to talk about under this concept. Of course, it is a change in attitude on the part of the recipient. That is observable change on the part of the attitude of the recipient. That is what you will see and know that some changes or a new practice has been adopted. Now, the positive effect of innovation could change perception. Demonstration forms are usually cited where people pass. Of course, they can observe it, and that can change their attitude. A particular practice may be adopted if proven value has been noted by the rural people. For example, water purification using alum or filtration, or using an irrigation system. Last year you didn't use irrigation, this year you use irrigation, and you see a noticeable change in your productivity, in your output, and eventual economic increase. That can create an attitude change. So these are some causes of attitude change. Another is communication media can be a cause of attitude change, like radio, television, newspapers, meetings, even these days, your phones and different apps, as well as media, social media, can cause attitude change. Another is the bandwagon effect. The bandwagon effect is also a factor that causes an attitude change. Peer pressure is also noted as an influence to people's attitude. If all your friends are adapting a particular practice, it tends to put a pressure on you. Opinion leaders can cause people's attitude to change. Remember, they are the people whose attitudes, words of mouth, and behavior influences or shapes other people's decision. Why does it do that? Because people pay or regard them. People pay attention to them and regard their words and regard their actions. That is why they can cause attitude change. Now, politicians can influence people to change their attitudes towards new ideas by sponsoring issues, sponsoring activities, by encouraging discussion, and so on and so forth. Government agencies can also cause attitude change. Oh, we are neglecting one very, very active cause of attitude change. The clergy, the religious leaders can also be part of this group. It can cause people to change their perception as well as attitude. Peer pressure can influence people's attitude. We've said that already, and we know that opinion leaders also change people's attitude. Now, we said we'll talk about the word or the concept planning. So let's talk about it before we round off for today. Now, planning seeks to accomplish goals by specifying what the organization is going to do, how it is going to do it or get it done, and who is going to to do what? That is what planning in summary is. Planning is a sort of managerial activity. In fact, it is a managerial activity designed to prepare the enterprise for the future and ensure that decisions regarding the use of people and resources, that is the means, help achieve enterprises' strengths and determining the best strategy and tactics to achieving organizational objectives. Decision-making activity is undertaken because of the gap between reality and the goals of the enterprise. Planning helps to close that gap. All right. Planning bridges the gap between where we are presently and where we want to be in the future. Planning process. What does it mean? Planning begins with the establishment of an objective, which covers economics, service, social dimension of the enterprise, and a set of parameters by which the manager could determine the viability of the business. Planning includes the formation of policies, procedures, methods, standards, rules, which serve to direct the activities of all the members involved in the performance of the organization's goal-oriented task. Okay. So what is the characteristics of a good plan? We've gotten a definition of a plan. Now, how do we now easily identify a good plan? So the characteristics of a good plan is one, it has to be realistic and capable of implementation, not just coming up with an idea that cannot be implemented. So a good plan must be realistic and capable of implementation. Number two, a good plan have clearly defined objectives in terms of scope, accuracy, and clarity. A good plan must be comprehensive. A good plan is flexible to take care of contingencies, that is fallouts here and there. A good plan have economic effectiveness. A good plan must be economically feasible. That is, it should be able to achieve it. That is the characteristics of, or these are some characteristics of a good plan. Okay, while we are on it and gradually rounding up, what do we mean by the concept business forecast? Yes, the essence of planning is to decide what is to be done at a specific point in time. This requires information or assumption about the future. The furthest, the authors have defined this and tried to explain them further by stating that one of the priorities of business owners or managers is to determine what is most likely to happen in the future in order to plan for it. It should be noted that forecasting is involved in all business activities, right from inception of the business to the winding up of the business. So you see what forecasting is. So what is the definition? How do you really explain forecasting to a novice? Forecasting is the determination of what will happen in the future. For instance, a farmers' cooperative society which decides to produce corn is forecasting that planting has come. So if that cooperative decides to produce 10,000 tons of corn, the assumption is that demand should equal or be greater than that. All right. So you don't correctly. Now, forecasting helps in future planning, business production information, human resource information, and accounting information, and sales information. Using the same example we had earlier, the farmers are trying to forecast that to produce maize for the future, we need to produce the baseline of what the market will be demanding. So they need a certain kind of information to do that. They need sales information to be able to sell off what they produce. They need accounting information to make their books add up so that they can know when they break even and when they are making a profit. They need human resource information in order to know if they can achieve this, because you need people in the production process. You also need production information so you know what to buy, what machines to use, and so on and so forth. So for forecasting helps in future planning by seeking systematically information on key business areas. Now, what is the ingredients of forecasting? Number one, a clear understanding of the industry and the company's operation over the years. This calls for trend analysis. This is one of the ingredients. You must have this understanding. Number two, a thorough knowledge of company's history is very good for forecasting, and a thorough analysis of the company's records to determine the performance of each product line, noting seasonals and yearly fluctuation. That helps in forecasting. Number three, estimating future business prospect based on the analysis of one, the trend analysis, and two, the company history and analysis of the company's records as concerning performance of each of its product lines. Okay, number four, adjustments for unforeseen circumstances in the economy as a whole. A lot of people that did not plan or forecast correctly, they ended up having issues towards the end of last year and this year, owing to the fluctuation of prices, the high inflationary rates. And when you don't adjust, you don't make adjustments for unforeseen circumstances like this, your business can take a hit. Number five, efforts should be made to compare actual results with estimated results periodically in order to adjust for so these are some ingredients for forecasting. Now, planning, let's discuss for a well-coordinated cooperative extension. Cooperative extension planning will enable the society to attain the following goals or purpose among others. One, and not to create surplus or profit. All right, that's not the target. Number two, the cooperative society is created by its members on a voluntary basis and is intended to achieve a common purpose or to address a common need. Number three, unlike a private enterprise whose basics is its capital investment, the cooperative is based on its membership. Now, let's highlight some of the benefits of planning cooperative extension program. Of course, we know planning has a lot of benefits, but now I want to just highlight some of the benefits of planning cooperative extension program. One, it enables the cooperative extension agents to delegate authority and responsibility. Number two, subordinates are able to do their jobs without the extension agent's direct personal supervision. Of course, with planning, they know what their job responsibility or job specification is. Number three, it enables employees of limited or little experience to fulfill useful organizational functions. Number four, it improves the quality of decision making and permits effective supervision and control. Number five, it helps extension agents to cope with changes. Number six, actions, or it acts as ingredient to the other managerial function. Okay. Now, what's the reason for planning? What reason do we have to plan? There are many good reasons for planning. Take note. One, to think ahead and to prepare for the future is one reason. Number two, to clarify goals and develop objectives. When you clarify goals, you now have a focus. You will consider the resources you have that are based on the amount of money you have in order to develop objectives for what you want to achieve. Number three, you must consider if the project is feasible based on the resources you have. So these are some reasons for planning. Number four, you have to consider the amount of money involved in order to get funds and other resources. Number five, implementation must be based on these factors. One, accept the situation. Two, set objectives. Three, calendar. That is, sure you have a date for it. Then you move straight to execution. And then number five, you start to evaluate all you have done for planning. All right. Thank you today for listening. I look forward to seeing all the students to go to your lecture module and attempt the in-course assess your units we just covered on your own. That's the essence of that in-course assignment. All right. Thank you for listening and have a blessed day. If you have learned from these videos, click the notification button. Please give it a thumbs up so that others can see it or will see it. Always remember to subscribe if you have not done so. Until next time, keep learning.